Alright, hello everyone. Think it's way past time due that I actually play this game.
Hello, everyone.
Oops. I got my... There we go, I fixed that. Yeah. Alright, here we go. Alright, Griffin. And sorry, Chessie, I don't speak German. So I'm not going to be playing this very long. I'm mostly just doing this while I wait for the models I have soaking right now to soak in all the isopropyl alcohol to strip the paint off them, because I'm actually working on both the Red Dead 440 and 460 right now. Both of those engines are getting a repaint, because I'm not happy with either one's paint jobs at the moment. I'm doing well, Chessie. How are you? Yeah, I can recognize German. I just don't know how to read it, though.
Hello again. Good morning to you.
I kind of want to hijack the one train.
Ah, something else?
Should we hijack a train or try to do actual missions? Actually, I think we'll start with the train hijacking, and then after we get bored, I'll do that. I can read a very vague, broken Spanish, because I did do Spanish in school. Except my Spanish is really rusty and really bad, so I only know like very, very basic Spanish. And that's it, really. And a very, very, very small amount of French I used to know, but I don't remember any of that now either. Let's go to Riggs Station.
Safe travels.
Alright, we got the 440, it looks like. So the blue on that 440 turned out to be too light. I thought it was going to be a bit darker than how it ended up coming out. So I have the paint stripping off of the 440 right now. And, yeah, there's Spanish. So yeah, I have all the paint stripping right now. Now, isopropyl alcohol is actually doing a really good job at stripping it off the brass, but I definitely want to get it out of there in case I don't think it'll damage the brass soaking in that to get the paint off, but I'm still being extremely cautious with it. And Red Oak ended up suggesting a darker blue, and I think the darker navy blue he suggested looks pretty close to what's in the game. The lighting in the game makes the paint color really inconsistent on these engines and cars, but I think navy blue is the way to go for the general overall color. Because this does look like a much darker blue than what I initially had on that engine. Oh, and I do have decals being designed as we speak for this model. I got the dimensions and everything sent out to Circus City Decals. And Circus City is, it's not going to be cheap to have these made up, but they're going to look fantastic, though. It's going to look just like in-game.
I'm sorry, passengers aren't allowed.
I'm going to wait for the train to take off. Alright. Where's my horse? Someone's horse is just standing there. Some lady getting... Why is she screaming? I think this is the side mission where that lady is being captured by bounty hunters or something. No, it's some weirdo. Let go of her. Creep. And now I have to chase this horse down. I missed my train. Alright, I gotta read chat real quick. Those Alco PAs are pretty cool. I always like those engines. And nice coaches to go with them. That's cool. Stewart F7s. I heard those are pretty good with Kato drives. Northern Pacific. That's sweet. How is number 7 holding up, by the way? Did you ever get that re-lettered, Dalton? Yeah, this is the side mission where that lady gets abducted.
Keep sniffing this thing's ass. Come on!
Ooh, she's got a bit of a foul mouth. I don't really blame her because that creep hog-tied her.
Unless you want something else, you untie me now!
Did I... Okay, that's how I untie. Alright. I might have seen them. I'd have to check your page again if you did upload those.
Rotten pig fucker! Never did
Good
no right
lord.
by me. Not since I was 6!
Well, glad you're feeling so good about all this.
This game usually doesn't have that bad of language. Wow. I don't really blame her because it sounds like that guy was a disgusting creep that I just saved her from. Oh, you didn't? I've definitely seen those engines before somewhere. Well, that's good to hear. I'm glad that you are finding use of those engines. Let's see if we can find the train running again around here. I'm going to change Arthur's outfit. What's this outfit? I have a bunch of saved outfits. I don't remember any of them because I haven't played this in a while. Okay, this one looks like my Saint Denis outfit. Alright, let's do this one. This one looks cowboyish.
Easy now.
Lehigh Valley's a pretty underrated road name. Am I assuming the Dalton, yours are just DCC or like basic DCC, or they have sound in them too? $90 for a pair of locomotives, especially with DCC, is a really good deal as is, though. That is a really good deal. And that's cool, you have dome cars. I wish I had the space to run some of those like streamlined, larger cars, but I'm pretty much stuck to like pre-1910 stuff, because, what is it? I have some heavyweight coaches that are like the absolute limit on my curves, and there's no way anything larger than those is going to make 18-inch radius curves. The woman in the game said something. She said that the person who had her hog tied to her horse did some gross stuff, and then she used some pretty foul language, which is understandable, but still, I wasn't really expecting that strong of language within 5 minutes of starting the game, so. I forget this game sometimes has a reason for being rated M for mature. I mean, outside of the obvious, you know, shooting people and robbing people aspect of the game. I don't like how that curve looks on this trestle. I don't think that curve would be built in real life on a... Whoa! Oh, I almost just jumped off the bridge.
You okay, boy?
Yeah, it's a really good deal to have those Digitrax decoders and 2 locomotives for $90. There's a bald eagle. And I almost jumped off the stupid bridge again. Let's not do that, Arthur. Dalton, are you able to program both locomotives at once to synchronize the was it the speed rates or the speed match? Sorry, that's what it was. Because I don't remember how, but I was able to do both at once on my controller, and I was able to get the CV settings at the same time matched up, so I could double head. What was it? I think my two Alco 260s. There's a mission over here. I think this mission spawns a train, so we might be in luck. I'm gonna take a rifle in case I need it, though.
Do you smoke, sir?
Sure, but perhaps not as much as you.
Oh, no, don't worry about these. Actually, take some. Take a couple of packs. Take a few.
Oh, thank you. What are all the cigarettes for? Are you heading on a long journey or something?
No, nothing like that at all. I'm just interested in the cards.
Oh, okay, because yeah, I could see how that could be limited by some controllers.
Let me take a look. Come on.
The one I have is a Bachmann Dynamis. I forgot how I did that. I think there's like a certain... I think if I put both the engines on the track and I select a certain... It's either program on main track or program on service track. One of the two will program both at the same time, so I was able to speed match two of my engines, double head them, and the consist together.
It is.
What control system do you use, Dalton?
Cigarettes I get to smoke? Oh, and the amount of money? A veritable fortune, sir.
Fortune?
Oh, sure. A complete set of any series is worth a fortune. Yeah, look at this. Gunslingers. Over here, circus freaks. Yes. Meow meows of the desert. So rare.
I never knew.
Sure.
I hear a train coming.
Well, it depends on the rarity, sir.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. But, you know, if you ever get a complete set, I can take it off your hands.
You'd pay me.
A fair
I'm
price.
hijacking this train as soon as this mission's over, if I can.
At your service. I gotta run. This is my train. Look me up, okay? Think about this deal. Only a complete set. That's where the value lies.
Oh! Arthur, get on the horse.
Yep.
Why is my horse running away? No. Yeah, I just ran over some animal, sorry. I just smoked some poor animal trying to run to the train.
Move along now. You ain't supposed to be around here.
Oh, these guards are so annoying in this game. Alright, I think I can jump on board about right here. Probably should equip a bandana for this, because we're going to be robbing a train. Oh, you use easy command? I've heard of the JMRI throttle, but I've never personally used it. And I remember I still have an easy command around somewhere. They recently redid that, and they made a new one that allows you to have access to all three CV, or sorry, not CV, to all three sound function and lighting function pages, as opposed to just 1 to 20. You can now do up like 1 to 30, I think, which is really nice. But I didn't really need it because I had a Dynamis one. And I'm hoping at some point, I'm still waiting for the Dynamis to wear out or crap out on me, so I can switch over to, what is it called? I can't remember what it's called. NCE Power Cab or Pro Cab. There's two versions of it. But the Dynamis is still working strong, so I might as well keep using it until it finally wears out on me. Oh, you did? I'll check that out, Chessie. Actually, I can check that out right now, because I got my phone right here. Is there a way I can access your profile from here? Okay, I can. Oh, those are sweet units. And that's a pretty sweet consist, too. I really, really like the Lehigh Valley one. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely want to wait for my system to die on me, too, before I end up replacing it. Because, you know, it's not cheap to get a new one. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with what I currently have running trains with, so. I can see whoever's engineering the train has, like, left the, they've left the firebox door open for quite a long time now, and they're just not closing it for some reason.
Oh, you ain't got permission to be up here. Stop right now or you're dead. Oh, Christ. Hell,
Alright, we might be getting into a gunfight here over control of this
get away
train.
from me, will you?
Yep, we're getting into a gunfight.
You're breathing your last. Come on. Son of a bitch. Never too long.
Alright, I don't want to shoot the innocent engineer, but I do need to find that guard. Who's shooting me?
Go to hell.
Oh, that wasn't very nice. Oh! Whoa! Oh, that wasn't nice. I don't think that... Okay, he's not dead. I'm not gonna shoot that guy any further, because I already kicked him. There's some other enemy. Where's the other enemy at?
Son of a bitch.
Oh, that's not very nice. Sorry. I want the train. Oh, we have witnesses now. We have to leave now. How do I turn off the bandana? How do I get in the train? It won't let me drive it. There we go. Yeah, Dalton, if you post pictures on your channel right now, I'll take a look at your locomotives that you just got. I like how the bell is straight up Strasbourg 90s. This thing does not go very fast either. Oh, we have a wanted status now. That's not good. There's people following me. Yeah, I thought there was a crossing. What's wrong with the Santa Fe coaches? I didn't get to take a good look at them. They look... Already know. Did you have Santa Fe coaches with those too? Let me look again. So I saw the Union Pacific ones in New York Central. Yeah, I don't see the Santa Fe ones you're talking about, Chessie. I see the New York Central and Union Pacific ones. Oh, wait, no, there they are right there. I see them. I see them in the consist. What's wrong with them? Oh, okay. I'm assuming they probably have the old horn hook couplers from like the 70s and 80s. My horse is way behind us now. I'm gonna pay off my bounty in the next town so I can get these lawmen off me. Yeah, I definitely understand, by the way, wanting to have a pair of those diesels over one. Those engines look so much better paired together than just running one separately. Do you have any B units for those PAs, or do you just have the two A units? It's always really cool when I see these large consists with like F7s or something like that, or E8s, where they're running the A unit and then a couple of B units and then another A unit with the passenger train. I always like how those look. I'm getting shot at right now. Let's just hide in the cab. Who's shooting at me? Hey, we have a horse going. Oh my god! Somebody just tripped their horse over! Oh my god! Oh, that makes sense, if they're all going to have the same couplers. Because a lot of those knuckle coupler replacements aren't cheap unless you get them, like, massively in bulk. I'm about to run someone over. I really hope I don't run over an innocent civilian. I really don't care to have the blood of innocence on this thing's pilot. Okay, we just got rid of the bounty. We can just stop the train. I'll check that out real quick, Dalton. There's number 7. I see number 7. Chesapeake Western. Yeah, I'm glad that number 7's still running well for you. That engine was really nice, but I just was not running it. It just sat on my shelf collecting dust for most of its life. I really should buy another one of those Spectrum 440s, though. Those are really nice engines. The only one I have at the moment lost its tender, and I gave the tender that one had to my Rio Grande Southern 2460. And then I totally tore the boiler and everything apart because the one I currently have started running really badly. And then I've torn it apart so much that I don't think I can put it back together and get it running right again. So it's now just kind of like designated as a parts engine now. So I really do want to look around and see if I can get a new Spectrum 440. What am I doing again? Oh, I'm paying my bounty off.
I'm liable to get robbed with this much coming in.
Oh, I owe over $1,000. There we go. Ooh, I have mail. I just earned $50 for one of my side quests. Cool. Hunting request. They want a cardinal, a rat, and a woodpecker. That's interesting. I don't know why somebody wants a rat carcass, but oh well. If they pay me money for it, they can have the dead rat. I think there's an abandoned train station around here that has rats all over it. And then you're also, yeah, there's number 7. Number 7 is looking great. And then I see your diesels as well. Those are nice as well. Main Street of the Northwest. I've never heard of that slogan. What railroad is this again? Northern Pacific? Yeah, it's Northern Pacific. I can see it now. I like that little... I don't know if that's a diorama or... Oh, no, that's a full layout. Okay. I couldn't tell if that was a diorama from the one-shot or a layout. That is a really nice-looking engine set. And this Chesapeake Western the name of your layout, Dalton? I like how that layout looks, too. That layout looks great. I like how the crossing looks right in front of number 7, too. I recognize the station. That station's the Tycho Polo one. I had a couple of those. I've had those before. It's a nice station. I actually considered using that station on your layout, Dalton, as the one for my Red Dead Redemption layout, but I found the Woodland Scenics one, which I think looks a bit closer to the one in Valentine than the one I have. I'm glad to hear 7 gets ran a lot. Hello there, Leviathan York. Hope you're doing well.
Come on, get clear.
Oh, this engine's full of bullet holes now. This 451 has seen better days. Oh, no, that's not. Where'd my horse go? Hey, my horse is gone. How are you doing, Leviathan? Also, how is that 280 you made the video going right now? I'm doing well.
What are you waiting for?
Oh, Leviathan. I don't know if you ever plan to attempt the Red Dead locomotives in HO scale, but if you ever do, I know like I have a ton of recommendations for how to do those in HO scale if you try them in HO. Because I'm tearing apart both my 460, the Central Union 460, and and I'm currently also tearing the paint off of my Southern and Eastern 440. And I've been ordering a ton of custom parts and decals for them. So if you ever want to venture into HO scale again, even if they're just static models or something, I can definitely give you advice for how to build both of those engines in HO scale with what's available, because you can get pretty close with those with the Tycho 460 and the Brass 999, which are the brass thing. I only have because Lord Vader gracefully sold me his, or graciously, one of the two words. He thankfully and kindly sold me his 999. But yeah, I'm really stoked to have those both finished in HO. I'm stripping the paint off of them both right now. I'm rebuilding the 460 with new parts and new paint because I am just not happy with how that looks now. What was I gonna say? I just blanked out. I was thinking of doing the Cornwall 460 from the beginning of the game too, but I just don't think that one's happening now. It's just kind of redundant with the other 460. It'd be cool to have the one with that K36 tender from the beginning. An 1850s Pensy 040. Is that the one that Lifelike made, or is it like a brass model chassis? Yeah, if you make a post on a chassis, I'll look at that locomotive right now. Yeah, and if you upload your roster, Dalton, I'll check out your locomotive roster too. You're waiting on a decal printer? I wish I could get a decal printer. I heard that you can use like standard printers with specific decal paper to print those out on there to make them, but it's like a nightmare and doesn't turn out very well. I understand. I've been spending a lot of money on having mine custom made. They're not at all cheap, but the water slides, once those are made up, look just amazing. I did experiment with trying to make them with like my own, like a long time ago. I tried making my own, and it didn't end well at all. It did not end good. I actually might have photos from when I first tried making models of these, like, years ago. I might upload those. if I can find them. Because those were way when I started model railroading. All right, I'll check that out, Chessie. Did I just hear I hear a chance encounter. I better stop the train. I don't have my horse. Model power. Yeah, that sounds familiar, Chessie. I'll look at it. Go to channel. Oh, that's different. I was expecting the lifelike, or I don't know if it was like lifelike or model power. One of them made like something called a tea kettle 040, and it was like a little side saddle. It wasn't was it a saddle tank? It was like a side tank 040, and it was usually seen as a B&O, and it had like the diamond stack and box headlight. That looks a lot better than the little lifelike tea kettle 040 that I was thinking of. That's a pretty sweet engine, though. I honestly kind of want an engine like that now. That is really cool. It reminds me of the Edaville, those Edaville Forney 040s, or sorry, 044Ts. That's what those are. I don't know why, but that's what the vibe I'm getting off of that engine is. The Edaville main 2-footers. If you repainted it, 30 to 35 is probably a decent deal if it's in running shape, because I imagine you could repaint that and super detail it to look really good. But yeah, the PAs are pretty sweet too. Leviathan, what locomotives do you have at the moment? Because you have an N scale, you have the 280, you have the Lanahasi Midland 280. I think you have the 440, which I am absolutely shocked that they actually have a modern 440 and N scale. I did not know they had that until I saw you made your Southern and Eastern 440. You have the Bachmann 460, I think, as one of the 10-wheelers, Central Union one. And I think I saw you had maybe one or two of the, what are they called? The Atlas 440s. I really want one of those so bad. Those are really nice, but of course they stopped making them because reasons. Those things kicked the old Bachmann 440s to the ground. All right, Jesse. Hope you have a good evening. Thanks for watching. Oh, we're about to come across the most cursed grade in this entire game. This grade that's up ahead is like physically impossible for a locomotive to go up. I don't even think a Shay would make it up this grade. Hello, Lord Vader. Yep, that's what your brass 999 is going to become. So I have a bit of an update, Lord Vader, about that 440. I'm doing this stream kind of temporarily. I'm waiting right now for the paint to strip off of 999 because I'm not using that blue on it, and I don't want to add more layers and have the engine getting all the paint on there looking thick. I want to explore this mine for a bit and get off the train. So right now the paint is being stripped off of the 440 and it's coming off really well. I just flipped the model over in the isopropyl alcohol. Yeah, so I'm going with a darker blue recommended by Red Oak. He recommended navy blue because we were both discussing that, and this game has really inconsistent lighting, and it makes it really hard to tell what true shade of blue is used on this 440. I honestly thought the French blue was going to be darker when I ordered it, and it turned out to be like almost Thomas the Tank Engine blue. So if anybody watching this ever makes models of Thomas the Tank Engine or any of the other blue engines from that show, French blue is going to be perfect, the perfect shade for that. But navy blue, I think, is probably what's going to be best for this model. I looked at other shades, and they just weren't as close. And I think navy blue will work just fine for this. And it looks like there's some mild weathering on the tender. And that was another thing. I didn't want to go any further on the weathering to darken the original blue on there, because this engine looks like a pretty decently maintained passenger locomotive. It only has mild weathering from basic service use. That you can see dust build up on the cylinders and drivers and everything. So I wanted to make sure this is a more clean looking engine. I'm only going to put mild soot on it the next time I paint it. I hear someone with a Scottish accent over here. That water looks disgusting. It looks contaminated. Yeah, there's oil all over that water. That's gross. There's sewage pipe right there. Do I have... I do have a lantern.
From above. This is the very manifestation of our greed. This is a land founded on greed. Not on science, not on truth, but on greed.
Where's this guy?
Think. Not merely desire.
Is there a little notification marker where he's at?
Science will save it. Not God.
Oh, there he is.
Dreams. But knowledge. Knowledge is the only hope. And knowledge starts with the eyes. You don't need too many eyes to see that we are doomed unless we change our ways. We are throttling the very life from this place.
This guy's been doom scrolling too much.
The earth bubbles. The sky is grey.
Hey there.
Read this book. It is the future of American science.
I'll take a book.
Thank you.
This guy reminds me of someone. I don't know who, though. He reminds me of someone from a movie, I think. Dr. McIntosh. And he just left. Oh, you're gonna make a Red Dead 4402? That's sweet. So are you making the 460 from Red Dead 1 or Red Dead 2? How do I... Oh, there we go. So you have the Bachmann Red Dead 460, the Athearn 280, two Atlas 440s, Leviathan and York, in Red Dead Redemption style, and the Red Dead 2 440. The trolley. Is the trolley like the Saint Denis trolley? I think I might have seen that, but I can't recall. That'd be sweet if you had the Cornwall Saint Denis streetcar thing. Kato big boy and the Betsy. That Betsy's sweet. I can't believe that. I don't think I've ever seen an N scale porter. That's a really cool custom that you did with that Red Oak Betsy. Are you, Leviathan, do you think you're going to end up splurging and getting the new 460 that Bachman's coming out with, the B&O one? Because I don't model N scale right now, but I am so close to wanting to buy the Central Pacific and the B&O ones. It's not even funny. And I really like, where did you get the stack for the 280? Because the stack on that 280 looks amazing. I really, really like how the Lanahasi Midland 280 you made came out looking like. And do you still have the and what do you mean by the Leviathan and York being in the Red Dead style? I'll have to check out your channel again. Are they like wearing different liveries and how they usually look, or are they like I'd have to see what you mean about the Leviathan and York locomotives. Maybe they're on your channel. I'll look at your channel real quick because that has me curious now. Red Dead 2 for the 460. I appreciate you selling me that 440 Lord Vader. I really do, because I was having a nightmare of a time trying to find the 999 in HO scale. Absolute nightmare. I hope that you're able to get a good representation of the Red Dead 440. If you want, I can keep an eye out for the a 999 on eBay for you as well. But the Spectrum 440 would probably make for a pretty decent stand-in as well, though. I wonder if you could change the domes on it, though, so you could rearrange it to have the bell in front of the domes. I'd have to look at mine. I have a Spectrum 440 laying around here somewhere, the one I was talking about earlier that's not in operable condition. All right, Dalton, I'll take a look at your roster. Lord Vader, can you send me progress photos of that 460? I want to see how that's shaping up so far, because I saw you were using the originally a Bachmann Jupiter 440 boiler for that. Nice to see you back, Chessie. B&O P5A. Is that a Bachmann locomotive? Is that a Bachmann Mikado? Because I saw Bachmann made Mikado like that for the B&O. Ooh, you have 630? That's sweet. I had that same 260, 9447. That is hilarious. I have that exact same caboose and that exact same Alco 260 as you, Dalton. Both are the exact same. The road number might be different on my caboose, but that is like the exact same color and the exact same caboose from, like, I think that's Athern, either Athern or Roundhouse. I have that exact same caboose that I paired with that 260 that was 9447. I currently have that engine in a different road name now, though. It's not Santa Fe anymore, though. Ooh, I like that 060, too. I like the white walls and the Vanderbilt tender on that. I like the Southern Pacific caboose that's paired with, too. The Southern caboose looks really nice, too. I'm going back and looking at that because I noticed that caboose. It looks, yeah, you mentioned it's custom. That looks really good, too. All right, I gotta read chat again because I was too busy looking at the thing. Yeah, I thought that was the USRA, like, Pacific that they made. Yeah, I would imagine that that's a popular brass model. It's a pretty popular locomotive. It's a shame that it was only available in brass, though. Lord Vader, what's going on with your current 999? I think you sent me photos of him, and I seem to recall you mentioning the boiler might be getting repainted because you're trying to replicate Russia iron on it. And I'd like to see how the Spectrum 440 comes out, too. Griffin, I don't have any railroads through my town anymore, but it used to be the Grand Rapids and Indiana Railroad, which was bought out and then taken over by Pennsylvania. So Pennsylvania ran through my town. Doesn't anymore, though, because Penn Central, which we don't mention on this channel, ruined it and went bankrupt. So they ripped out all the tracks after Penn Central ruined it. Ooh, white metal kits. I heard those are a nightmare. I've been talking to the guy who's rebuilding my brass Sierra Railroad 24 into Sierra 28 right now, and he says the white metal kits he's been working on are an absolute nightmare. I wish you best of luck with working on whatever you're working on, because I have heard they are horrible. And they're all Athearn. I thought those were Athearn. I couldn't remember if it was Athearn or Roundhouse, which I guess in a way Roundhouse and Athearn are the same, because Roundhouse is now, the tooling for Roundhouse is now owned by Athearn. Oh, is it unpainted? I'll have to look at that trolley, Leviathan. Because I'm pretty sure I saw it once. For some reason I have some sort of like, what is it called? Like, I could have, for some reason, I thought I remembered seeing it, and I thought it was the Cornwall City Railway from Red Dead 2 in Saint Denis. Well, what is that called? I just lost the name of it. But anyway, I thought that's what it was for some reason. Mandela effect. I had the Mandela effect with it, because that's what it was. Oh, that's a shame that it was from Shapeways. I mean, it's cool that you got that stack, but Shapeways, as far as I'm aware, is out of business now. That sucks. I would have totally ordered one of those stacks, because that came out. That's like a really good looking stack for that locomotive. It reminds me of Sierra Railway 3s that it wore in Unforgiven. I think that 280 that you have is probably my favorite locomotive of yours. And then behind that is the 440, the Red Dead 440, and then the Red Dead 460. I don't know why, I just love how the 280 looks. It reminds me, it looks just like the one from the game, except it's a 280. But then again, it also reminds me of like Sierra 3 for some reason. And I love how the 440 and the 460 also came out too, but I really like how the 440 looks like the, it looks a lot like when they modernized New York Central 999, is what it reminds me of. It's like they modernized the Southern and Eastern 440. 0602. Is that a real wheel arrangement? I don't know how that would, wait, is an 0602 real? That can't be real, can it? Because that would mean there's the 060. Where would the last set of trailing wheels go? Yeah, Shapeways. I thought they went out of business. It's just a shame, because they had a ton of stuff I wanted to order off there, and then I waited too long, and then I just ended up not getting what I needed off of there. Now it's gone. But I think there's people that would probably commission, if I give them measurements for stuff, I can give them commissions for making me custom model components. Luckily, I haven't needed anything 3D printed yet, and all the parts I've been using for the engines are brass. Which reminds me, Lord Vader, I took the original headlight off of 999 today, and it's now it's now getting a new headlight. I think it's a CB&Q style headlight that it's getting, because it looks almost exactly like the 440's headlight right now, which you can't really see because it's dark in game, but it's going to look a lot more like the original game locomotive. Oh, hello, Robert. You gave Red Oak Trains a set of 20 N-scale ore cars. Oh, yeah, he's working. I don't know if he's currently working on it, but I'm pretty sure he's working on an N-scale layout. I can't speak for him, but from the last time we mentioned it, I think he was planning to do something with N-scale. I think particularly because of the that 460, he really wants that 19th century 460. I think just about everybody I know wants that 19th century 460. Actually, I think I just saw someone in the more recent chat. Yeah, Leviathan just mentioned it. The new Bachmann 19th century 460. I want it. Just about everybody I know wants that thing. Even if I'm not immediately in N-scale right now, I still want it. I really hope it comes to HO at some point, because we desperately need an old-time 460. Bachmann has been getting a lot of good reception in regards to that new 460, so I look forward to seeing a release, and hopefully they'll expand their old-time market even further. Penn Central, yeah, we don't mention Penn Central here. This is not a Penn Central channel. We don't talk about that cursed merger. Every time I see that logo of Penn Central, a little bit of just despair enters me. Penn Central ruined so much. That was the worst idea on earth. Oh, that's sad, but it makes sense, Lord Vader, in regards to your 999 project being in limbo right now. I have way too many projects going on right now. I gotta like pick one and focus on it and get it done and just do that, because I have the Red Dead 460's in pieces, the Red Dead 440's in pieces, the Sierra 3 I'm waiting on from you, Lord Vader. Actually, you said you shipped that. I'm just waiting on that to get here. I have all the parts for it, so as soon as that 460 gets here, that's getting torn to shreds and rebuilt into the 70s Sierra 3. I have another project. What's my other project? I have I have a Sierra Railway coach that I'm working on right now. I have some other Sierra Railway boxcar I'm working on right now. I have another Sierra Railway number 3 that I'm working on right now. I have a lot of Sierra Railway stuff working on right now. In case anybody hasn't noticed, I kind of like the Sierra Railway out of California. Even though I've never been there, I'm hoping to visit Railtown at some point. Hopefully this year would be nice in the fall. If I can save money, I'd like to go out to California and visit Railtown before they end Steam operations for the season. Do I have a favorite 3-foot gauge locomotive? I like the Eureka locomotive a great deal. I understand that engine is a nightmare to fire and operate because it's so cramped and it's a wood burner, but I absolutely love 440. So if I had to pick a favorite narrow gauge locomotive, it's probably the Eureka. British 00 white metal kit. What locomotive are you working on? I used to have a couple of British engines. I used to have one of the Hornby, what was it? Terrier. I used to have a Terrier 060T, and it was like painted for the it had that yellow livery. What was that? London, I think it was like London Southwestern or LBSC. It was in the yellowish, mustard yellow kind of livery with the red and green. It was beautiful. It was named Brighton Works. I love that model, but I just didn't really run it much, so I sold it with a set of nice four-wheel Stroudley coaches that were lighted. That was a really nice engine and consist, but I didn't use it and I needed money, so I sold them. Dalton, I'd love to see your take on a modernized Sierra 3. I'm really glad that more people are now taking the Tyco 460s and modernizing them and upgrading them, because ever since I saw Red Oak do that video where we I've seen just a massive explosion of custom Sierra 3s, and I just love seeing every single one of them because there's so many different takes you can do on that one locomotive, and every single custom is just amazing to see. So I look forward to seeing how yours turns out. I'm currently doing one right now that's the 70s, one from Little House on the Prairie, with the alternate diamond stack that it wears, not the regular one from Back to the Future, but the other one. And it has like the pinstriping and red pilot. And I really look forward to finishing that. And Red Oak is going to be working on that one for me too. Leviathan, I definitely don't blame you for getting the new 19th Century 460, because I probably will be too. I look forward to it a lot. It'd be cool, Leviathan, if you took the lettering off of it and repainted it as the Red Dead. If you took the Thatcher Perkins and made it the Red Dead locomotive. Oh, Chessie. That makes sense. The OC, not that too. The English language is kind of confusing. There's like 3 different 2s, and they each mean something different. I can understand why when people are trying to learn English from other countries, I see videos where people are learning English from other countries, and they're like, why is there like 3 different 2s? Or why is there like, you know, whatever. There's like 3 different theirs as well, and they just, it gets confusing. $9.99 pre-large wheels. Chessie, I think the large drivers were how it was built, and then they weren't really efficient except for high speeds. So they took the large drive wheels off, and the smaller drivers that they have to this day are the replacement ones. I think the large, tall driving wheels were the original ones. Shotgun stack, pile, national visor, headlight, reverse light on a pulse. I will look forward to seeing that, Dalt. That sounds like a really interesting custom Sierra 3. Yeah, I'm way behind again, Jesse. N-scale 2882. A triplex would be cool in N-scale if anyone makes it. Lord Vader, I'll check that out. I'll check out those posts that you put up with your locomotives in just a second. I'm going to try and catch up with chat first, and then I'll check that out. The Pier, Michigan. Whistle Stop Troy Train Museum. That's a pretty cool place. It'd be nice to donate some of your unused locomotives there. I'm assuming that's probably downstate. I live in Michigan, but I'm like way in the northern half of the state of Michigan. I'm not very often downstate. Like, I can count on my hands the amount of times I've been downstate Michigan. But that sounds pretty cool, though. They don't have anything like that in like the UP or northern half of Michigan at all. There's like one hobby store. Actually, there used to be one in Traverse City, but that one's like history, I think, now. I don't think that one's open anymore. And then there was one in the UP, but I think that one's still open. I think that one's like down by, where is that? The one in the UP. Where's the one in the UP? I'm trying to think of it now. It wasn't up in Sault Ste. Marie. I can't remember. There was one in the UP at some point too. I've never actually been in a specific hobby. Here's the stupid thing with the lighting. Not to get off track, but see how like bright of a blue this looks in certain angles, and then at other angles it looks dark. Like, this game is really inconsistent lighting with this engine's blue color. It just makes it a nightmare color match. But anyway, yeah, there's not a lot of hobby shops in the northern half of the state of Michigan, in the upper, lower, or the upper peninsula. Yeah, I imagine it'll arrive some point this week. Lord Vader. Thanks for shipping that out. I totally forgot that you mentioned you had already shipped that because I have like 5,000 different packages I'm expecting right now, and I forget which ones are coming and which ones aren't. I have tons of parts and spray paints, and I even ordered a couple of freight cars and a caboose as well, and I'm just like, there's so many packages I have to keep track of right now. It's not even funny. I have like packages that I forgot I even ordered that arrived today. I'm like, oh, I forgot I ordered that air compressor for the 460. Oh, I forgot I ordered this, what was the other thing? Oh, I forgot I ordered the tender hatch for number 3. Oops. Oh, I hope that the UPNS thing doesn't go horribly, but I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not really in favor of a massive monopoly either, but I don't want either of them to get like demolished either, because we're kind of dependent on those rail networks for our freight. So I'm not a big fan of them merging and consolidating into a monopoly like that, but I don't want them each to get tanked either. So it's kind of like a lose-lose situation, or lose-win, I don't know. NC used to run through town near me. What's that? The Western New York and Pennsylvania Railway took over operations. I didn't know. I've never heard of another railway taking over operations for Pennsy. I've always heard of Pennsy taking over because my town, Pennsy, took over the Grand Rapids in Indiana. And I've never heard them get... That's pretty interesting, though. I'll have to look up the Q class. Oh, those Mantua Generals are nice engines, too. I believe Red Oak is working on... He bought 2 of them to use the drivers for my 460 whenever I get around to shipping him the 460. But, my train of thought just went off the rails. I have to reread your comment. Yeah, he got 2 Mantua Generals to use the drivers for my Red Dead 460, but I think he's going to consolidate the other parts from them to make, like, his own 440. And as far as I'm aware, that 440 is going to be the William Mason. But I believe that's a project that's deprioritized right now for him. But it'll be cool to see how that turns out whenever he does get to it. Let's check out this station here. Yeah, English is weird. Oh, that's sweet. You have the Arbor models 460. Those are rare. That's really, really cool that you got one of those. I think Darth Santa Fe did a video assembling one of those. I wish you the best of luck with that, because it looks like it makes a beautiful model, but from what I understand, you need, like, insanely, what was I told? The gentleman that's working on Sierra Railway 28 for me right now is working on some of those Arbor white metal kits, and he says you have to have, like, absolute perfection with assembling the running gear and everything, or else it's not going to run correctly. So I wish you the best of luck with working on that. I think when that's assembled, it'll probably look scores ahead of the Tyco 460. I'm sure that's probably better proportionally sized than the Tyco one, too. It's like a catch-22 with those models. You either have to go with the simplistic, oversized-looking Tyco one that you have to super detail, but it's still oversized, or you can get the more accurate Arbor models, and you have to, like, totally go in depth with building that thing. And I personally don't know. I personally know I do not have the skills right now to build something like that. That's way above my league. Like, way above what I could do. I outsource, like, all my mechanical and electrical stuff to Red Oak at this point, because I just literally... I'm not interested in the mechanical and electrical stuff, and don't want to get into it because it just frustrates me working on those. I look forward to seeing how that turns out, though, Lord Vader. So please keep me posted on your CR3. Are you doing the modern version, or are you going to do the diamond stack box headlight version? Because I believe the Arbor models, from what I've seen, comes with the diamond stack and the straight stack and the box lamp and electric lamp. Yeah, Lord Vader. I thought those large drivers were built, and then the small ones were when they rebuilt it because they just weren't very practical, from what I understand. That's cool. I've gotten some models, Chessie, from antique stores too. I've gotten some really good deals on models from antique stores before. Leviathan, could you explain what the Railroad Redemption series was? Because that sounds really interesting. I would totally watch that if you did a video series about like the Railroads of Red Dead or something with your models with the Red Dead theme. And could you tell me again what you're modeling on yours again? Because I'm pretty sure the last time I saw a video, it looked like you had the Ansburg mines being worked on, and it looked like you had Saint Denis, like the docks and like the main like front street with the hotels in it. I really wish I could fit. I wanted to try and fit the Saint Denis docks and the Ansburg mines onto my layout, but that's just not happening on my 4x6. And I don't have room to do extensions to run off of the interchange track, so I think Valentine is all I'm gonna have for the time being, unless I get more space in the future to build a bigger layout. What's going on? Why is Arthur... Yeah, if you put the effort into those generals, they're really nice. Oh, B&O Railroads turns 200 next year? I didn't... Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, I guess they were established in 1827, weren't they? I think when they christened that railroad for... I think like the last founding father was there to christen the B&O Railroad right as it was being built. I can't believe that was the B&O is 200 now. Maybe I'll have to run my B&O stuff that I own for that, because I do have some B&O coaches. And speaking of B&O, Lord Vader, how's your B&O 440 doing for you? Yeah, the Arbor models are just... Those are just... You need such an insane amount of skill to build those Arbor models, Lord Vader. I couldn't personally work on one of those, because I know that's leagues ahead of me. I could not work on one of those, because I will just, like, get lost so fast trying to work on getting that. It sounded like even Darth Santa Fe was having issues assembling that. So, if he was having trouble building and working on those kits, there's no way I would be able to assemble one of those kits. Yeah, that's what I thought, Chessie, that the Pensy leased that railway, because they usually absorbed. They didn't have their lines absorbed. They were the ones doing the absorbing. Yeah, I'd want to park those out for other projects. Oh, hey, Red Oak, how are you doing? Sorry, I'm a bit behind on chat right now. I've been behind all night, because I started off jabber-jawing on one comment for too long, and it's just snowballed me being, like, 5 minutes behind again. Yeah, a lot of people don't care about their old local railroads. It's a shame, but a lot of people just don't really care about their local history or railroad history, for that matter. Yeah, the Arbor models they're really cool kits. Like the Sierra 3 came with the alternate stacks and everything to really customize it. But like I said, those white metal castings are just a nightmare to work with. And I heard the drive gearing and everything is just horrible. And yeah, Red Oak, this is a 999. Oh, Lord Vader, I found an LED for you to put in your B&O 440. If you want, I can send that to you. I found the headlight LED that was with that 440 finally. It only took me like a month to find, but I finally found it in my parts box. Yeah, the white metal quality was not. It wasn't good. They look great, but the quality of those parts is just not worth messing with them. Leviathan. I've worked on Saint Denis. Leviathan, I don't know if you plan to, but I would absolutely love to see a video of your layout, like you going over everything about your layout. And I think a lot of people would too, because as far as I'm aware, you and I are like the only two people that have publicly made content about Red Dead Redemption Railroads, and I'd love to see how you did yours in N scale, and like what you used for it, all the equipment, buildings, the techniques you used to build yours. I'd love to see an in-depth video overviewing your Red Dead layout, like how I did that one video overviewing mine. I'd love to watch that if you ever do make one. Oh, do you have patched locomotives, Robert? Like how they would patch out old locomotives with new lettering, but keep the old liveries? I always thought that was pretty neat. Or do you have like heritage units? All right, yeah, Lord Vader. I'll have to get that out to you. I can either mail you that now, or I don't know if you ever want to buy any other models or trade any other models. I can include it then too. But it's a small enough part that I could put it in a small padded envelope too, and get you that headlight out too. So let me know how you want to proceed with that, and I'll get you that LED thing for the 4.4 out ASAP. Yeah, the switches on this track is horrible. There's no way an engine would go through that switch without derailing instantly. You actually, Red Oak, you missed a really impossible grade like 10 minutes ago. Like, we just climbed a grade to get up here, and it's like the most like impossible grade. It was like a freaking 50% grade, or at least. Like, it was almost vertical. It was like a cartoon. There's like not even a Shay would climb that. You need a cog railway to go up the tracks that we just climbed. This game does not have very realistic grades or curves or switches at all. Oh, and Red Oak, while you're here, I am stripping the 440. I'm doing this stream right now because I'm waiting on the 440 to paint the strip. And it's working. Most of the tender has been stripped and the boiler's stripping now. I ordered the navy blue that you recommended because I could not find any other blue that looked similar to this beforehand, and then I hadn't even seen navy blue. I was looking at a listing on eBay that had like all the different paints on there, and that wasn't part of the what was it, the AS, I think is what you said? Because I was looking at the TS colors, and they didn't have navy blue, but the navy blue does look pretty close to this, so that's what I'm going to use, and hopefully that'll come out good. Just as good as the other finish did on the other ones. I'm assuming it's probably the same paint. But I look forward to getting that a shot on the new 440. All right, Lord Vader, yeah, just shoot me an email and we'll discuss that LED. Because I have some padded envelopes that I can easily send that out in, like right now if you want. Unless you want to like have more locomotives or cars. A look at what I'm getting rid of off of my collection still. Yeah, I always like the B&O blue. Robert, I always thought the B&O blue was a really nice livery that they had. So you're gonna patch on the RCRR over top of the CSX and B&O then, I assume? Okay, yeah, I would definitely watch Railroad Redemption, Leviathan, if you made a video on that. That sounds like a really cool video idea. I was planning to do, I don't know how this is going to work out, but I'm definitely going to do a video on both the Red Dead 440 and 460. Red Oak, I think we mentioned it before, Red Oak. I don't know if you'd still want to, but I was going to see if you wanted to do a collaboration for that one. I was thinking of seeing if you could do a video on your end, and then I'd merge the stuff on what I did on my end with, and then do some history on the locomotive models history and the prototypes as well. I think that'll make for a really fun video. I haven't played Railroads Online in a while, Chessie. That game is just really buggy, and I've just lost interest in it. I tried getting back into it, but I don't see myself doing it again. I'm kind of done with that game now. Yeah, that Casey Jones video was a really fun one that I saw that you had. When did you do that? A couple years ago, I think. You used that big hauler. I still remember that caboose just shattering when that locomotive rammed into the rear end of it. You need to see the grade? Alright, we'll back the train up. I think you can reverse the train. I'll show the horribly cursed grade behind the engine. There are some really cursed curves up ahead, too, so once we back up, we're going through those cursed curves. Somebody just said hello to me in the video game. Hello. Yeah, Red Oak. I ended up using just isopropyl alcohol. Hopefully that doesn't damage the brass, but it seems to be stripping the paint like right off. I let it soak for like an hour earlier, and it like took 90% of it off. Actually, I probably should check on that soon. Both the tender and the boiler. I took a bunch of the brass components off that I could unscrew. I was able to salvage the sand dome, so I don't have to repaint the brass on that again. Wish I could get the cab off of it, but that's like soldered on, so that's not coming off. I think the British firebox door is actually on they have like a similar weird design of the firebox door on the Thatcher Perkins too, because Heist was talking about that, and somebody was like, oh, that firebox door looks British, but for some reason the actual Thatcher Perkins used that firebox door setup as well for some reason, I think. Very odd choice on Rockstar, or not Rockstar, who built the Thatcher Perkins? Whoever built it, I don't think it was Mason. I don't think it was Mason Machine Works. I think it was the B&O shops built that one. As far as I'm aware. I'd have to look into the history of the B&O shops again. Or the B&O railroad manufacturers again. Yeah, that's why I got the AS navy blue. Yeah, okay, so they're just different colors. That's good to know, because I didn't know if there's any difference really other than just colors. I'm assuming the finishes are probably going to be quite similar too. I'm going to use a semi-gloss sealer on it so it's not super bright but not dull either. I think the semi-gloss looks pretty good because that's what I used on my Little House 460's tender, and it came out looking pretty good. Aircraft spray, that would make sense why it's listed as AS aircraft spray, and I assume TS is train spray, maybe. Yeah, I'd love to do a collab video if you want to, because I think it'd be really fun. It'd be really cool to have all the video of what you did on your end, and then all the video on everything on my end, to see how we came together to get these models of the Red Dead locomotives finished and operating. Because as far as I'm aware, These will be the only two operable Red Dead locomotives in HO scale that use a actual 999 and then a custom Thatcher Perkins. I don't think anybody else in HO scale has produced these locomotives and has them both operable. I could be wrong, though. I know Leviathan York has his N-scale ones, and he actually beat me to it, because I looked at his channel before I ever even had the idea of building mine. So technically, Leviathan York is the first one that I'm aware of to have ever built a model of Red Dead Redemption 2's towns and locomotives. But mine will be the first in HO scale, though. And as far as I'm aware, like I said earlier, I think Leviathan and I are still the only two that I'm aware of off of the top of my head that have Red Dead entirely themed layouts with accurate locomotives running on them as well. Yeah, patches are always pretty cool to see on those newer diesels. I always like the EMDFTs. Oh, and the SW1500s, I used to have one of those too. I had one for Western Pacific. I had the Athearn one. Those were pretty nice. Alright, here comes the incredibly cursed grades, everyone. This is, like, impossible. The engine would, like, wheel spin immediately if this was real life. It wouldn't even touch this grade. Yeah, I don't know what grade this is, but this is not happening. I don't even know if a Shay could make this grade. This is like COG railway levels of grades here. Like, look at how steep of a grade that is. There's no way an engine with gigantic drivers like 999 would make it up this grade. It's just not possible. Look at how bad it is going down that way. Yeah, Railroads Online, it was fun to play at first and for a while. And Red Oak's streams were really fun, but the game now is just, it's just not fun anymore. It's just buggy, and there's no new content. There's really not much to really keep you playing it, except for driving the trains around, which there's like dozens of other train games that are in better shape than this one that you can play if you want to play train games. I look forward to Century of Steam. Yeah, that exploding caboose was sweet. So you use 3D and wooden coffee stir sticks. I have to rewatch that video now to see how that caboose exploded again, because that was a really good effect for that. It reminds me of that one Thomas episode where the brake van got disintegrated by one of the twin locomotives. That was like a straight up, like that brake van straight up got murdered on a children's TV show episode. So it got smashed to pieces, and then you could see a wrecking crane picking up B&O and CSX. Oh, and Icy Propol won't hurt Brad. That's good to hear, Red Oak, that won't hurt the brass. Conrail. I forgot about Conrail. When did Conrail turn into CSX? Like 2000 or so? Yeah, I thought it was built by the B&O shops. I just didn't know which, because there's like, what was it called? Like the Mount Clair or something shops? Yeah, because the Mason was obviously built by Mason. I wonder what the top speed of the passenger trains that the Perkins pulled was. Like 35, 40? Can't imagine it going like super fast because that would have been what, like the 1860s. I think that was built in like the late 1850s, early 1860s, so it couldn't have been super fast. Oh, it's TS is just chem, yes, spray. That would make sense. Yeah, that makes way more sense than train spray because I don't know why I thought it was train spray because the other one AS would be airplane spray. I wonder what else. I ordered some paint, or sorry, not paint. My brain just broke. I ordered some of their tape for painting. I'm gonna use those. Haven't gotten here yet, and I'm gonna use those for my boiler bands on the 460 and the 440. The 440 doesn't really need it because the boiler bands are lifted up high enough on the 440 that I kind of don't really need them, and I can just clean up the excess paint with a wet paintbrush as I'm painting those boiler bands on. But I definitely need those on the Tyco 460 to avoid sloppy boiler bands on it. I totally stripped that thing today. I don't know if anybody saw the post, but I soaked it in like a diluted isopropyl alcohol solution last night, and I totally stripped all the paint off. The boiler band was driving me nuts on that thing because you could tell, like in person looking at it, no matter how much weathering, it was like internally bugging me so much that boiler band on the engineer side that I added was slightly askew further forward than it should be. And then also you could slightly still see that I hadn't properly sanded away all the molded on piping. And I also got rid of the piping along the sides for the check valves too, because that was driving me nuts too. So the boiler is now completely flat on the 460 like the actual Red Dead locomotive. And now I have to put a new boiler band on it. And I'm going to try the new paint on it. I got a few different shades of green ordered for that boiler. I'm going to try to match it to the tender. I'm not touching the tender because that tender came out good enough as is. And I do not want to start that tender over. And I'm actually shocked at the headlight. I was able to leave the headlight as is. I thought that stripper would take that decal off of it immediately, but it didn't. So the headlights saved. I don't even have to order more decals for the engine now. I just have to repaint it and add the few new components that I've ordered for it. And I think once I do that, the 460 is going to look infinitely better with this repaint and rework now. Oh, and now it's dark out in the game, so you can't see anything. Oops, I got off topic a bit too much. Now I'm behind on chat again. Yeah, that'd be sweet, Lord Vader, if you do a Red Dead layout. I would definitely be interested in seeing how that progresses if you made a series on that, or community posts or whatnot. Either way, that'd be really cool. Yeah, Chessie, these are pretty much... that's pretty much, what is it called? What is the gulch called? Where they go flying, Glacier Gulch or something? It's the one where they go flying down the roller coaster thing in Polar Express. This is pretty much that. Except without all the snow, and you don't have the engineer and fireman climbing to the front of the engine to change a light bulb and leaving children in charge of driving Pure Market at 1225. A double O gauge layout would be pretty cool too. I've always liked seeing those those British switching layouts where they use the tank engines to do all the switching. Yeah, this is like an impossibly steep grade Red Oak. There's no way that this is like an actual... This is like no reality to it at all. They just did this so they could connect one part of the map to the other. Yeah, the multiplayer for Railroads Online is super buggy. I tried playing it on PlayStation, and it would lag after you had like more than 2 people in it. And I had my lobby set up to allow randoms to join when I still played the multiplayer on PlayStation. And it became like a buggy, unplayable mess on PlayStation 2 after a certain amount of people would join. And then also, it's just... there's like other bugs on PlayStation. I don't know if they're present on PC, but it's just so annoying when you have all these bugs that stack up on it, and then you just have, like, the gameplay is just limited. It's just not that fun anymore. It's fun to play around with for a while, but the longer you play it, the more noticeable the game's shortcomings become. So Yeah, I thought that wreck looked like the Thomas wreck a bit. When that brake van got smashed into pieces. 1999. Thank you, Robert. I thought that's around the time that Conrail became CSX. And Norfolk Southern. I didn't know they became part of Norfolk Southern, too. It was built in 1863. Okay. 40-ish at top speed, 50 down. That's pretty good. If that thing could haul at 50 downhill in like the 1860s, then that's doing really good for its time period. Luckily, the Perkins did survive. Why is there a boiler bay? So, Dutch Vanderland, I want people's opinions that are in the chat right now. I was thinking of doing a post, but I'll do an opinion thing on it right now with viewers. There's a boiler band on the front of the smoke box. I'm assuming this is like a genuine oversight on Rockstar's part, because this is like no reason at all there should be a boiler band at the front of the smoke box. It should not be there. Obviously, it's a design oversight of their end. I don't know if I should be accurate to the game and leave this front boiler band at the front of the smoke box, or if I should leave it so it could be more accurate to real life, because honestly, that kind of bugs me, and it's a bit cursed. I could easily tape this off and put a really clean boiler band on the front if I want to with that Tamiya tape. But, yeah, I don't know if I want to, because it's just, I don't like how that looks. And hello, Joel, how are you doing? Yeah, I think that's a creative liberty I have to take. Because like the boiler bands I'm pretty sure the boiler bands were like to hide the jacketing seams, wasn't it? And there's no reason for that to be up front, because there's no seam up there for it to hide. Unless they just painted it on. Is that just painted on? No, that is riveted on, because you can see the rivets on it. So that's not just painted on. They modeled that like they bolted that band to the front of it. Huh. They did a really good job overall with the they did a lot better of a job in the second game with the trains in the first one, because this is like a really, really close representation of 999. I don't know why they did this. If you look at the front, you can see the link and pin coupling thing right here, but they have a giant slot cut out for a knuckle coupler. I don't know why they did that. Again, I don't know if I should represent this and take the... actually, no. I would have to cut the front of the pilot on mine if I wanted to represent this, and I kind of don't want to do that now that I think about it. Yeah, I'm not cutting out the knuckle coupler slot on mine. I'm just going to leave it as is, because that's kind of cursed looking. It looks like they took the knuckle coupler on the modernized 999 with the shorter pilot and merged it with the high driver version with the taller pilot. That's another weird design choice that Rockstar did. And also that front grab iron isn't on it either. That might be on the newer 999, but it's not on the tall driver version that's represented here. Dutch, what's the plan, Tahiti? Am I planning to paint up a locomotive for America's 250th? I have a couple of bicentennial Tyco. Okay, so I have a bicentennial Tyco caboose around here somewhere. And the tender that I use for the Sierra 3 right now, the new Sierra 3, the Little House on the Prairie one, that was the Spirit of America bicentennial tender. I stripped that and have reused it for the Little House engine. So in a way, there's kind of a bicentennial tender right now. And I do have the old caboose somewhere in storage. I guess I could get that out and run it. I don't really have any... I don't think the 19th century railroads really had any like centennial stuff for 1876, did they? Does anybody know if any engines were painted up specifically for the 1876 centennial? Or anything like that? Because I don't think I recall ever seeing any like red, white, or blue or special locomotives. Because the only engines I have are like 19th century and turn of the century. I don't have any modern diesels or anything that could really be done as 250th units. Glacier Gulch, thank you. I thought it was something like that. Yeah, Red Dead layouts. Yeah, Emerald Ranch, Saint Denis, and Annesburg would be sweet. I really wanted to get Annesburg and Saint Denis on here, but that's just not happening with my space. I don't want to overcrowd it because I did some mock-ups of how that would look with Annesburg, and it just crowded the layout too much to have it on there. So there's no Annesburg. It's just going to be those engine sidings and a couple of other sidings, and then Valentine. I hope you're doing well, or Oregonian. I think Oregonian, you prefer being referenced as Joel, right? It's like I always see you join streams. I'm like, wait, he said he prefers Joel, I think. So correct me, but I assume you want me to reference you as Joel, though. And I hope you're doing well, though. Lord Vader, or what did you say? Yeah, those like I was saying, Emerald Ranch, Saint Denis, and Annesburg would be sweet. Wish I could incorporate them, but that's just not happening. But it'd be cool if you could make those on your town, because actually Saint Denis would be a really good switching thing. There's a lot of switch tracks in Saint Denis. And at Annesburg, too. There's a lot of industries you could switch there if you did like a switching layout with them. Oh, that's pretty cool, Robert. Bachmann Conrail SD42. I used to have one of those old Bachmann SD42s. I think mine was BNSF livery. I used to have a few Bicentennial Tyco Spirit of 76 diesels. Those are long gone now. I traded those for another engine. Yeah, that's weird that there's no siding there. They put sidings for every other industry in Red Dead there, but there's nothing for Emerald Ranch. I don't even see... Emerald Ranch doesn't even have a cattle corral loading area. There's missions where they talk about livestock being loaded at Emerald Ranch, and they don't even have a corral to load any of the livestock into the trains there. It's just the passenger depot. Yeah, that definitely has to be a decorative piece, because that's not actual... There's no way that that's any actual structural integrity with that boiler band being there. It's just, I think that, like I said, it's just an oversight of the Rockstar developers, and they just put it there because they probably thought it looked nice, or they thought that maybe there was supposed to be one there. I'll have to put up a poll on that on my channel when I get around to repainting this thing and see if anybody wants that on there or not. I'm kind of leaning on the side of going inaccurate and leaving it off because it's kind of cursed, but if I want an accurate model, then it needs to be there, though. The trains are not... They're really... For what it is, they did a really good job with the trains. It's obviously not even close to being centered on the trains. I mentioned this before in my video when I did the overview of the layout, but for what it is, they did a really good job replicating the locomotives for this video game. So the few inconsistencies or inaccuracies that these engines do have are kind of passable, because for the most part, these engines do look just 10 times better than most video games actually do put into their locomotives. So Rockstar gets a pass for a few mild inconsistent or inaccuracies with these, but yeah, I don't know if I want to have that boiler band on there or not. The engine still does look really nice, though, regardless of that. Yeah, Red Oak, that's the thing. I can either... So I know I really kind of want to leave it off, but I really want it to be accurate to the game, so I feel like at the end of the day, it might end up staying. I do not like how there's that boiler band up there, but it's not going to be as accurate if I leave it off, and the model I have of 999 is already so close to this as is that I might as well just put it on there, just to have it be accurate, because it's already so close anyway. Honestly, I feel like I'd probably get used to it anyways, because I played this game enough as is to have gotten used to that sort of cursed boiler band up there, but yeah. How do I get up there? Okay. Oh, that sucks. 87 degrees inside? That's horrible. I hope you're doing all right in that heat wave. That is awful. I hope it's not humid either, because humidity takes a heat wave and makes it like 1,000 times worse. And it happens all the time here, and it's horrible. What's my favorite old locomotive? Sierra Railway 3. I can answer that in 2 seconds, Andrew. Sierra Railway 3 is my favorite locomotive all time, hands down. I have like 3 or 4 models of it now. And I've had at least like 10 models of it in the past before. I've done so many different models of number 3. Am I going to add the... Wait, they're getting a loco ready for... what do you mean about that, Oregonian? Oh, yeah, they're getting a local... I didn't mean what you meant by Knuckles for a second. I'm still way behind on chat. I'm like way behind now. You're talking about the knuckle couplers when I was ranting and raving about the pilot up here. Yeah, they must be preparing it for knuckle couplers. We're just going to pretend that that's what Rockstar intended. It's getting ready for new knuckle... Actually, they have knuckle couplers back here, so I guess that is an accurate excuse. But I know that's not why Rockstar did that, though. Yeah, I'm going to add the flagpoles, Lord Vader. I'm just probably going to add... I have some metal, like, small metal wires that I can use for the flagpoles for this. They already have the bases for the flagpoles on that pilot. I just have to put in the new metal things for them. Front of the smoke box looks like an SP switcher, and it's driving me mad. I can see that. I can see how that looks like a Southern Pacific switcher from the front, especially that one that you have a model of. What is that, an S11, I think, is the one you have, that 060? It bugs me on the 440 game as the rod bearings are so far forward outside of the wheel. It makes the cylinder stroke. I have to look at that now. We're now going to look at this. I never even noticed that. Wow. Wow! I did not notice that. I've never... Well, thanks for pointing that out, Red Oak, because I am never going to unnotice that now. I never noticed that until you said that. That's weird. Yeah, I don't know how I never noticed that. I've been playing this since it came out like a decade ago. I wonder what else is weird with this thing. I think they actually have the tender water hatch. Okay, yeah, they have the water hatch back there. The $9.99, that looks about right for the tender. The tender looks pretty accurate to $9.99. The cab is inaccurate. I kind of debated cutting out the third window. Actually, no. If I'm going to do an all-out accurate model, that means that the cab that it's currently on it is inaccurate, and that I'd have to remove the... It has 3 windows on the brass model right now. I'd have to, like, redo the cab. I'm not doing that. Okay, we're going to just leave the boiler band off on the front after all, because if I want a totally accurate $9.99, that means that I have to do a whole new cab on this thing, too, and I am not doing that. Because that thing is, like, soldered on, and I'm not dealing with tearing the cab off of it. Technically, I could probably... Yeah, this is a copy and paste off the 460. It literally is. This literally is the 460's cab reused. They just reused that asset for some reason instead of... Probably time-saving instead of making a whole new one. I technically could cut out... I could Dremel out the original cab things to turn it from a 3-window into a 2-window. I really don't care to do that, though, so I guess we're going to have an inaccurate cab on mine. We're just going to pretend that Maybe the original cab got wrecked. Yeah, that's what happened. The original cab got wrecked like Sierra 3, and in the game they have this one off of some other 460, I guess. We're going to pretend my model is the pre-wrecked version. It doesn't have this giant slot on the front of the pilot. It doesn't have this weird boiler band thing going on. And it doesn't have this cheaply reused cab on the back. Yeah, mine's the pre-wreck version. This thing was wrecked. I'm planning on doing up a locomotive that I'm going to buy for my birthday in August. I'm going to do in a patriotic paint scheme in number 2. That's pretty cool. That'd be cool to have a 250 locomotive. I just can't do that with any of my engines, because my engines are all like 19th century, and it just wouldn't work. I think they decked out the engines in bunting and patriotic banners. Oh, okay. Yeah, I could do like patriotic banners. Maybe I could take one of my engines and put like bunting and banners on it. Maybe put 250 on it for the 4th of July. That'd be pretty cool. Maybe I'll do one of my Bachmann 440s up like that. Number 25 in AF, American Freedom Train colors for fun. That'd be pretty neat to see number 25 in like a patriotic livery. Oh, and by the way, Joel, I really like how the that new spark arrestor on 25 looks on it. Do you mind if I ask where you got that? Because I think I saw one for sale on eBay that the guy that's currently working on my Sierra 28 model right now has. I think he sells them on eBay, but I want to make sure if that's the same spark arrestor that you're using. So I want to use that on one of my locomotives that needs a spark arrestor like that. Yeah, this is an impossible grade, Dutch. This grade is not possible. I like how, I will say, Rockstar did a really good job with the cylinder steam. You can see each of the cylinder steam jetting out of the individual cylinder cocks on the locomotive. You can see they actually go in sync the way they're supposed to when the engine accelerates. Yeah, I don't think they actually painted up those 19th century Centennial engines either. They probably just did a ton of bunting like they did with the funeral trains, but with red, white, and blue. Yeah, Joel, I just couldn't remember if you preferred Oregonian or Joel. Oh my god, I am buried in chat. That is so far behind. Alright, I'm going to try and quickly go through all these previous comments. I'm going to apologize if my answer to any of these are like super brief, or if I'm going to try not to skip any over, but I have to go through these really quick just to catch up, because I'm so buried right now. Am I online or single player? This is single player. The 440 is not available on multiplayer, sadly, so I'm playing single player. Plus, I didn't want to deal with people online either, because Red Dead Online players aren't the nicest all the time, so single player is what I chose. Hello there, Christian. Hope you're doing well. $9.99 did have boiler jacketing all the way to the front of the smoke box. Oh, I didn't know that. I thought that the smoke box I didn't even know do they put boiler jacketing on most locomotive smoke boxes, or just $9.99? Since I didn't know that. I guess I could see why there. I mean, I haven't seen any photos with the band on the front, but I didn't know before that, though, that they had jacketing on the smoke box of $9.99. I thought it was just like the bare metal of the smoke box, and then they just painted it with like specific paints that didn't come off because of the heat. I didn't know they actually had jacketing on the smoke box. It's interesting. So I guess that does make a bit of sense then, for there to be a decorative boiler band on the front to hold that down then. Yeah, that's train enough, and use the blue I think, did they have blueprints for this? I just assumed they used a ton of reference photos. I wonder if there's actual blueprints publicly available of 999 or the Thatcher Perkins that they could have used for reference. I would have assumed that they just used, like, they probably went into Google and said Old West train, and then the first two images they saw were Thatcher Perkins 999. They're like, oh, okay, close enough. They'll just click on that and then look at the related images and use that as reference for the engines. But regardless of how they actually modeled these for the game, I still think for what they are, for a game that's not centered on the trains, they still did a really great job with these. Vast improvement over the first Red Dead, which is just a super generic 460 with a cursed Bettendorf freight truck that was like not even a thing until 30 years after that game was set as the pilot wheel. And yeah, it's a good model, but yeah, there is some inaccuracies on there. Yeah, they definitely did good for it not being a train-focused game. That's a good idea, Red Oak, with the automotive pinstripe. I'll look into that. That'd probably look better than just taping